Hi everyone, we are here at the Academy Day number 9 and with me is Simon from Reality Virtual from New Zealand. And to get things started, just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the 3D photogrammetry field.
I'm Simon Che De Boer from realityvirtual.co. Am I looking at you? I'm looking at you. Okay. I'm Simon Che De Boer from realityvirtual.co. I jumped into photogrammetry as a ends to a means to an ends in regards to a personal situation, which I won't get into too much detail. But basically, you don't know what you've lost until you've lost it. So cultural preservation to me became a thing pretty much overnight. The realization that we need to retain the memories and the things that are important to us in one way or another, let it be digital or in the real world. I basically, went solo for a little while and ended up kind of pioneering a whole bunch of technologies over the last few years. Not classically trained in the field, so I didn't really realize I was breaking the rules in the first place. And so when I actually did finally make a showing to the world, quite frankly, people were like, where the hell did this come from and what the hell is going on? How some young Kiwi lad in his bedroom on the dole, showing up where to digital.
Oh, that's cool. So can you go a little bit into detail about what exactly is it that you do and what it takes to capture a place so that you can then be in it in virtual reality and have the fidelity of the real world when you're inside that experience?
Yeah, so, photogrammetry is kind of a big wave right now. We'd been tackling it quite many years ago. In its early infancy, when people were just basically scanning shoes, I'd hypothesized that in single pass photogrammetry environments would be a thing. Single pass meaning that we can capture a whole entire environment in a single pass rapidly. The process is really relatively straightforward. Anyone with a decent camera can take a few thousand photographs of an environment. There's some limitations, glass, extremely shiny objects, all that we haven't quite worked out on the deep learning front yet. But actually, we know we'll resolve that soon enough. So the actual data acquisition in the first place, actually taking the photos while that place and environment is still there, is extremely important to us. The way we've tackled pipeline is essentially every project that we've done, let it be for our personal use or a client, has been essentially an R&D project. We just haven't told the client this. And so, every last dollar that we've essentially obtained from work, we've put straight back into R&D, and as a result, our lean team of 3-4 guys, and I say 3-4 guys because, the fourth guy is like literally half and half, when we can pay him, we've been able to really push the level of fidelity to a magnitude higher than what anyone else is really actually achieving in the world right now. And when I say a magnitude, I literally mean a magnitude. Like our most recent experience that NVIDIA has been showcasing of Nefertari's tomb in Egypt, and there's a few other tombs that I can't mention right now, is literally 40 billion points. Now the highest resolution that we know of anyone else right now who's doing environmental photogrammetry single pass is about 700 million. So we're about 50 times higher than the nearest party. And we other parties are kind of like just keeping with photos, and they're not delighting it, and they're not doing all these advanced techniques where you can relight environments and all this kind of stuff. We're going, well, we've been doing that for a while now, and now we're throwing in deep learning as just a bit of a kicker to go, well, yeah, okay, we've done 40 billion, let's make it 120 billion. So Nefertari is, to get technical, it's 400 times 16K of textures. So it's got so stupid now that we don't need that resolution. We're just doing it because we can. Yeah.
Okay. Can you go a little bit into the deep learning aspects of it? How does that come into play? What does deep learning help you to do?
Well, there's a few really cool things that we did. So the first thing we did was super sampling. We would actually essentially train our own data sets with our own. We'd basically train our own algorithms with our own data sets. So traditionally, if people want to do super sampling, they would focus on established data sets that already exist, like image.net and celebrity.net. I make this joke about how I don't want celebrities' eyes in my hieroglyphics, right? And so we use our own data on one machine, while the other machine is doing the photogrammetry, another machine is actually learning the concepts of things, the concepts of the data that it's getting. And so from that we can do super sampling, but more importantly what we can do is with Nefertari's tomb in particular, there was all these floorboards in there in the actual tomb. So, I physically went there and scanned the place. Really exciting, 5 guys, AK-47s, all the rest of it. But there's floorboards, there's like no smoking signs, there's like, things on the walls with instructions of how to behave. There's these horrible halogen lights. It's all baked lighting with the lamps. And so with the deep learning, we can circle around instances of things we don't want, and the algorithm will look around the scene and will fill it in with new procedural textures of what it thinks should be there. So it's not repeating the rocks like how Photoshop would do. It's actually making new rocks based on what its understanding of rocks are. And so that's, in painting as they call it, or content-aware fill, mixed with super sampling, are 2 really great things. But recently we've gone one step further, which is obviously a separate new company, a separate new co, where we have a product now that is able to completely delight environments based on hundreds of thousands of photographs, soon to be millions of paired photographs, where it's able to extrapolate everything from normals to roughness to diffuse to displacement from a single photo. And so deep physical-based rendering, it's not photogrammetry, but photogrammetry loves it because it means the photogrammetry itself can be much more low resolution. You can actually essentially use the deep physical-based rendering to fill in all the detail. And the deep physical-based rendering is much, much, much faster. Where you take 5 days to process a scene on 4 Titans, you can now process a scene in half a day and use the deep physical-based rendering, which literally takes minutes on a few V100s to fill in the gaps. Yeah.
So essentially what you're talking about is that many things that we do right now will become obsolete and everything is going to be automated, right? I mean,
the whole process of what realityvirtual.co does, or these new codes that we break away from realityvirtual.co, is for the purpose of automation, for rapid content creation of the highest fidelity. And the industry needs this, and yes, I understand that we're talking about essentially making a whole host of software and services and companies obsolete, but we need an automated pipeline for the digitization of the world. And because if we're going to get the world done in a fast and timely manner, these modules are required, because quite frankly, as it currently stands, to create a scene, even with our speeds where it's three guys in 6 weeks, that's just not fast enough. If we want to virtualize the planet with a level of accuracy, or even more importantly, if we want to virtualize environments that we've lost and use that data to try and recreate these environments, we need a level of contextually aware understanding from a machine to fill in the gaps. And the last thing we've really got standing right now in this whole entire pipeline is deep geometry, or essentially deep retopology. So I haven't decided what we're going to call it yet, but deep retopo. There we go. So that's our next. Once we get deep PBR as a running service, either as a black box solution and or a service online for indie companies, we want to work on the last module, which really is the retopology, so that engines can just, we can throw in messy, disgusting 3D scan data, and they can just go, bleh, here you go, something nice and clean for your game engine. Yeah.
That sounds super cool. So for the viewers who would like to learn more about this, just tell us what's the best place to go, how to reach you, if you're looking for someone specific to do something. That's your chance. Yeah,
so look, with deep physical-based rendering, we want to offer it as, to multiple verticals of industry. Quite frankly, as to, kind of hold back the displacement that this is going to do. But as a result, we were basically looking for checks being written out for us to the level of exclusivity that is required for that. So if you're an ArcViz company and you want to have an upper end over other ArcViz companies, come see us. It'll cost you, but it'll be worth it because you'll be paid back 10 times in dividends. But most importantly, realityvirtual.co, you can go check it out. Nefertari's Tomb is on Steam, and deeppbr.ai, MVP is currently sitting on the internet, which you can go and examine for yourself to test its validity. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was that was a ride. Hope to see more great stuff from you, and that's a wrap for us.